Hey, what's up, everyone? We're back here with the 15 minutes a game. Jay, Vaughn, Julian, and Steve here. We're all discussing some baseball here today. So we have some trade news, we have some signing news, we have a lot of stuff going on in Major League Baseball right now. So we're gonna start with some Dodger talk, of course. We're LA guys, so we want to dive into all that. And big news coming out of Anaheim. We talked last week about Albert Pujols leaving the Angels, and now, of all things, getting signed to the Dodgers. And the Angels are paying the rest of his contract, basically $30 million, and the Dodgers are going to pick up the rest, which is only a small sum of $200,000. So, my question for you, and this is kind of just being a little crazy here, but is he already the greatest Dodgers hitter in history? Not for what he's obviously going to do for the team now, but of history. Do you think he is the greatest hitter to ever wear the blue?
I'll be honest, I had to look up like all-time Dodger greats because what's funny is like over the last 20 years, they don't have like the best hitter in the league ever, really. It's hard for because I know you're saying in his career. So in his career, his average is almost 300, and he's just under 700 homers, almost 2,000 runs, and over 2,100 RBIs. So I guess based on those stats, yeah. But it's just what's he gonna actually do for the Dodgers? That's gonna make it hard to. I guess he'll have the best stats ever. Every article I looked up, like best all-time Dodger hitters, Duke Snider was number one. And obviously none of us were watching him play. He started his career in the 40s and ended it in the 60s. And he almost batted 300 and had over 400 homers, over 1,300 RBIs. So played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, the LA Dodgers, the Mets, and the Giants. What I did want to add to that really fast.
Yeah.
In the 2000s, from 2000 to now,
Mm-hmm.
Two Dodgers that stood out. It's not really answering your question, but just some guys more current were Adrian Beltre and Sean Green. They didn't play with the Dodgers their whole career, but man, Beltre started with the Dodgers. 2004, he was second in MVP votes to the juicer Barry Bonds. And then I remember the Dodgers, having Sean Green, and he was just a beast, like in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I don't have a true answer for you. Sorry.
Look, I just wanted to get some historical reference here for everybody because the Dodgers are a storied franchise. So what do you think, Jules? Where does he rank?
Just like Steve, I had to do some research. I'll go with Pujols just with his stats, and his nickname is the Machine. The man won 2 World Series, and as Steve said, he has like over 660 career homers. And I was looking at the Dodgers all-time home run leaders, and as Steve mentioned, Duke Snider with 389. Then you got Gil Hodges with 361, and then my man Eric Karros, who I grew up watching, with 270. So I have to go with Pujols and give it to as the greatest. He's the best hitter to put on a Dodger uniform. It's weird to say, but I give Pujols that credit.
No doubt. I definitely agree with you guys. I mean, I had to go back and look through the history books here. One guy who did wanted to shout out was Gary Sheffield, man. I know you guys remember that windup he had.
Of that bat dance.
Yep. Nobody had it like him.
Whenever I'd make myself in the baseball video game, I had that.
Yeah, shaking the bat up there before he got into the box. So yeah, Gary Sheffield, and then another name, Pee Wee Reese, dude. Who was this guy? He is the number 1 leaders in walks. So bases on balls, Pee Wee Reese is the leader. So shout out to those guys, man. I do think
Jackie Robinson, he popped up too on a bunch of
for sure. Yeah, and he's honored obviously every year when everybody wears his number. So I think Pujols, though, the Machine, he is going to be for sure a first ballot Hall of Famer. And what do you guys think about just adding him to the team? Like, is this a good move for the squad? Like, how do you feel about that?
I like it for Pujols and the team. Just he's a veteran, he's not going to look for the shine, not look for the stardom. He's just here to help in any capacity Dave Roberts, Freeman needs him to. And I'm pretty sure he's going to give him that leadership. He has 2 World Series belts under his belt, so he could give that knowledge, even though the Dodgers, they know what it takes, but he could just be that extra motivation for them when needed.
Yeah, I didn't see that signing coming. I'm not mad at it since the Angels are paying his salary. The Dodgers are paying like a prorated veterans minimum. But yeah, he brings leadership to the clubhouse. There's a lot of young guys, especially with all the injuries. And, now with Seager out, maybe against lefties, maybe you put Pujols first, Muncy at second, Lux at short. I don't know. We'll see. They got Tsutsugo from the Rays too, who has not been good the couple years he's been with them. He's batting like under 190. But in Japan, he had 140 homers. Dave Roberts said, that he thinks with some, changing some mechanics of the way he bats, that maybe they can get him going. So who knows, man?
Yeah, I think Albert will do well with guys on base. I don't think he really needs to hit for power. Get some guys on. Maybe he's batting like 6th or 7th in this lineup, and he can be productive. Do you guys think the same thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
And if you remember early on in the season, I there was, even as a pin, if he comes off and pinch hits, there was a point where they were like 0 for 16 pinch hitting or something like that. And then finally, I think Beatty got a hit so yeah, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be like the addition that wins or loses us a ring, but like Julian said, a clubhouse guy and all that, leadership, he's definitely going to be there.
For sure.
Exactly.
So touching on that Seager injury, obviously horrible. A fastball off the hands from Detweiler. Who fills in? What are we going to do? And how much of that production are we going to miss with him out of that 2-hole and obviously playing shortstop?
Lux fills in, right? Like he did today. I think Seager wasn't doing great defensively, but he's one of my favorite. He's actually probably my favorite player. So it hurt to see him go down. Luckily, I was reading today, they said the break isn't anything that requires surgery, and it could be as little as 3 to 4 weeks. So if anything, it's good experience for Lux playing shortstop. And it's like the Dodgers, they bring other guys and they fill in whenever they need them to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I see Lux filling in for Seager, and just like as Steve said, it's just like a next man up mentality, especially this season with all the injuries going on. It seems like every week, sadly, and AJ Pollock re-injured his hamstring. So it's just like guys getting that experience in the big leagues with the Dodgers in that environment, and just keep them in contention in the NL West until Belly and Seager gets back, I feel like.
Yeah. He's coming back soon. Pitching wise, Price comes back tomorrow. He's going to go back go into the bullpen again. Gonsolin is close to coming back. He's supposed to be the 5th starter. So it's kind of like just hold the fort down until they can get semi-healthy.
For sure. No, I totally feel you guys on that, because the lucky thing or really by design is that the Dodgers have so much depth and they can fill in and have that roster versatility. You can't replace Seager. I mean, he's a top 3 shortstop. Defensively, though, he was kind of off this year so far. So maybe like Chris Taylor filling in at short, and I don't know how much shortstop Gavin Lux has played, but he seems to be okay at second base. So we'll see what they do as far as the lineup and figuring out how to move somebody into his place. So it's a big injury though, and it's sad that we've been hit by the injury bug so much this year so far. So we'll overcome it though. And I think, like you said, it's not requiring surgery. So he'll be back within 6 weeks or something. Let's hope. Let's keep our fingers crossed for Corey, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. So my next topic here, this is kind of switching gears and going to the broader scope of baseball is who do you guys think right now, if you had a 1-run lead in the ninth and you had to put in any closer in baseball, who is that guy? Who's the best closer right now in the game, would you say?
I'll let Steve take this
You
one.
got me on. We got like 4 minutes left. Well, stats wise, it's Mark Melancon from the Padres and Alex Reyes from the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Melancon just got his 14th save tonight. No blown saves. Reyes, same thing. His ERA is like under 0.5. But to answer your question, if there's a 1-run lead, and I know he's been rocky in the past, I know he said some stupid shit in the past. I want Josh Hader out there, dude.
Really?
Yeah, dude, man. This season he's 3-0, 1.1 ERA, 8 saves, 28 Ks. He's just got that long, lanky delivery. Him or Liam Hendricks. So, or vintage like Kenley. But if we're just talking about this year,
yeah. You going with Josh Hader?
Yeah. Did I take yours, Jules? You got that smile.
You just did, yes, sir. So just looking at the save leaderboard for this season, and he stuck out to me. But to go different, like I would want to go Chapman, but guys, they could time up that fastball at the end, like that he's bringing the heat. I don't want to go with a Padre. I'm gonna go with Reyes this season. I'll pick a Cardinal as my closer. But obviously, OG Kenley. I won't be a homer, but I'll go Reyes.
All right, so you going with Reyes? All right, for sure.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go with Chapman, man. I think he's got it back this year. He's got 9 saves, 2-0. His ERA is actually 0, so that's pretty good, I guess. And he's got a 0.6 whip, so he's not walking a lot of guys, and hitters are only batting 83 off him. So I'm going with Aroldis. And if I'm in the 9th inning and I got to get one guy to come in and finish the game, that dude's going to do it for me. And he has a lot of experience doing it too. Honorable mention is Matt Barnes from the Red Sox, just because he's doing it too. The Red Sox have a pretty good record, which I think we're all kind of shocked by.
He is. You know what? I had Barnes on the list, but I was watching the Angels game today, and he blew that save. He gave up Trout's first hit of this road trip. And then he gave up a bomb to Ohtani, and that ended up they were down by 1 and they put him up by 1. But yeah, he's still going nuts. But that's today.
Yeah, look, we're up to date here on the 15 minutes a game.
That's right. We got 90 seconds left on it too.
Hey.
All right, cool. Well, we gave you guys the Dodgers' greatest hitters in history, so honorable mentions to all of those dudes. And we'll see what happens at shortstop going forward, obviously with the Corey injury. And you guys know who we like closing out games. So follow us. We're on Apple Podcasts, all over socials, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, 15 minutes a game. Check us out, and thanks for listening, everybody.